Well, hello there, everybody. My name is Ben Collins Asongwe. I am the founder and CEO of BC Advantage LLC. Now, this is a company that focuses on teaching individuals and businesses how to marry purpose with AI innovation. So it really is about being clear and crystallizing the why, and then wrapping around that why a very strong AI strategy. We do consulting, we coach people as well, and build AI products. So today, what we're going to be doing is learning about the latest features of ChatGPT 4.5, and we're going to be doing a comparison between that tool, which was released about 2 days ago, with BCAI, which is our own product, and that lives and is powered by ChatGPT, but that lives in the GPT store. So if you go to the GPT store, and you can find that by going under the Explore GPT options in ChatGPT, you would find other GPTs that builders such as myself, have built and placed out there. So we're going to be comparing the latest ChatGPT 4.5 against our model, against Gemini, against Claude, and against Meta AI. So this is going to be quite the insightful, I would say, match battle, between all these different AI tools. Um, in the space of AI, there's so much information and there's so much that the tools can do. But we believe, my strong belief at the end of the day is that each of them have a purpose. And again, right, this is about combining purpose with AI innovation. Find your purpose, find what you're looking for, and then merge and marry that with artificial intelligence. So our tool works the same way as ChatGPT does, but from the get-go, right, we inputted certain key elements like mindfulness and thoughtfulness, and its ability to be analytical, and most of all empathetic, right, when interacting with users and things like that. So that's our secret sauce, right? A sauce. It's having an AI that is gonna be, you can have the smartest person out there in the world, but if they don't know how to communicate with you, then it makes learning hard, and it makes communication difficult. So from the get-go, we kept these things in mind as we were building our own GPT BCAI. So I will go right ahead here with the test. I'm going to share my screen. What we will start by doing is watching that latest release from OpenAI talking about ChatGPT 4.5. And then, we're going to perform the test, right? The same test that they've done or that they did, to measure how these different AIs that I mentioned earlier, BCAI, Gemini, Claude, Meta AI, how all these AIs compare. Okay, I will share my screen here.
Hi, I'm Mia. I'm a research lead at OpenAI. Today we are here to introduce GPT 4.5, our latest model release. We are releasing GPT 4.5 as a research preview to ChatGPT Pro users and developers in the API, and we're working to bring it to Plus users, EDU and team starting next week. GPT 4.5 is a special model. It is our largest and most knowledgeable model yet. OpenAI advances AI capabilities by scaling two different paradigms: unsupervised learning and reasoning. Reasoning teaches models to.
So there are basically two ways a machine learns, right? As she just mentioned, the two primary ways are supervised or unsupervised learning. is very much like we humans do. You know, the machines, right, in supervised learning, the other way to think about this is like having a tutor, right? So one of the approach through supervised learning is you give the model a series of data, right, training data, and you're there step by step, guiding it through the process, through again supervised learning, where you're evaluating and checking off, is this object identified, is it correct, things like that. um, and in unsupervised learning, right, that's really where you set the model loose and you say, okay, you've had all this training, go ahead and see if you can label all this data and you can identify all these things. Then the evaluation is done much later at the end. So just wanted to add some of that context there, about what she just said.
Think before responding. And that helps especially with tasks that require reasoning, like science, math, and other difficult, complex questions. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, helps increase word model accuracy and intuition. GPT 4.5 is our next step in scaling up unsupervised learning, increasing word knowledge, intuition, and reducing hallucinations. Despite not reasoning step by step like our O series models, GPT 4.5 has is generally useful and inherently smarter.
All right, ads.
We're still experimenting with this model
Gonna have to
ourselves,
check that
especially
out.
because it's not a reasoning model, and we're exploring capabilities that emerge with unsupervised learning. And we're really excited to bring this to the world today so that we can explore it together.
Hi, I'm Rafa. I work on synthetic data here at OpenAI, and I'm also really excited to talk about GPT 4.5. Interacting with GPT 4.5 feels natural. It's our best chat model yet. And that's because it has improved deeper knowledge and improved contextual understanding, which makes it really useful for tasks like improving your writing, programming, or practical problem solving. The best way to get a feel for the model is to talk to it. So let's jump into a demo. Let's ask GPT 4.5. I had a trouble the other day with a friend. Let's see if I can get some advice here. My friend canceled on me again. Write a text message telling them that I hate them. At the same time, let's see what O1 has to say about this. As you can see, GPT 4.5 recognizes that I'm frustrated and offers me a text that's a little more nuanced and probably a more constructive thing to send to my friend. On the other hand, O1 is still useful. It actually follows my instructions and gives me that angry text, but it fails to pick up on that social cue that I'm probably just frustrated right now and probably could use someone to talk to. And that warning at the end feels a little judgmental for my taste.
So as you can see, right, that is right, some of these differences and how they're fine tuning the models. Again, since that O1 Pro, is by having the model think, about how it's responding, not only input but output, and you can see the variance right across models, because the one that he tested is just O1, right? One of, I would say, maybe my frustrations with ChatGPT, and I've been hearing chatter that they're going to fix this in the future, but part of my frustration is they have so many models out there. Let me show you here for a second, what I mean. If I'm able to go back, let me minimize the screen. Here I have my AI toolbox, right? In my Google Chrome's tab, I'm able to just assemble all my AI tools into one tab. So I have, BCAI going here, Gemini, Claude, and Meta AI. And again, each of them have different strengths. It's about, using them and seeing what the flair is for them and how it's applicable to you. I'll tell you just right off the bat, for example, Meta's AI is the most conversational AI, right? Which makes sense because Meta AI is trained on just a huge, redunculous amount of conversational data. So this is the thing. This is, as I was saying here. This is my frustration with ChatGPT. If we just go ChatGPT, you have ChatGPT 4.0, you have 4.0 with scheduled tasks, you have O1, you have O3 mini, O3 mini high, and then it's like at some point, it starts getting a little cumbersome. I was happy to hear the CEO Sam Altman talk about the future of AI and describe the sort of unification. Right, they're just going to have one model that's just going to work and be able to. Because the reason why they have it parsed like this is because again, each of these have different strengths. Right, you could see here underneath O3 Mini High, for example, is great at coding tasks and logic. O3 Mini is fast at advanced reasoning. So again, each of them have different capabilities. I don't think they need to have all these models, differentiated, because the average user just wants to use AI. But anyways, this AI lives on ChatGPT, and the way you access that is through Explore GPTs here. You just search for, BCAI. I already have it up because I obviously a heavy user, myself since I got my baby out there. I'm really proud of it. But so that's how you get BCAI. It's in a GPT store. The same way, if you have an Android phone, this would be the Play Store. If you have an Apple phone, this is the App Store, right, where you go and find different applications for various things. So here in Chat GPT's platform, you can explore GPTs and find other GPTs that builders such as myself, have built. So I will do start conversation here. And let me try to mirror what is happening, right? So you have this, person here who talked about, and we can see from his message here, he's frustrated, right? And he sends this message to ChatGPT 4.5 and also sends the same message to O1. So let's recreate that. So it says, my friend canceled on me again. Okay, so uh, my friend canceled on me again. Okay. Okay, my friend canceled on me again. Write a text message telling them that I hate them. Okay. Write a text message telling them that I hate them. All right. Well, that's a it's quite an intense message. Okay. Let me make sure it is verbatim. My friend canceled on me again. Okay. Right. Okay. Good to meet. Yes, I'm still on the call. Yes. Uh, all right. Okay. So I think this is good, right? My friend canceled me again. I was just trying to make sure that I captured all the, punctuation marks and things like that. Um, that I hate them. Good. All right, so I'll copy this so that I can paste it in all the other GPTs. So this is Google's latest Gemini Advanced, but Google also, you can see, like ChatGPT, has they have 2.0 Flash Thinking Experimental. They have Flash. They have 1.5 Pro with deep research. in 2.0 Pro Experimental. So I'm just gonna pick one of these, okay? Um, and as a matter of fact, Google lets you build gems now, right? The same way ChatGPT does and lets you build your own customized GPT. Google actually lets you do the same, and they call them gems. So I will test my Google gem at another time. All right, so I have posted the same message in all three. So I'm gonna launch them. So BCAI is gone, Gemini is gone, and this is Claude's latest model as well, Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Okay, Claude is made by Anthropic, then Meta AI. So there we go. Meta AI responds and says, I understand you're upset, but I would advise against sending a message with hurtful language. Instead, I can help you draft a message that expresses your disappointment and frustration in a non-confrontational way. So you can see some of that element of EQ, right, in Meta AI, which is very good. So, hey, I'm really disappointed that you canceled me again. I'm looking forward to spending time with you. Can we talk about what's going on and find a better time to hang out? All right, that's a good response. Um, Here's what Claude says. I understand you're feeling frustrated about your friend canceling plans again. While it's completely valid to feel upset, sending a message in the heat of the moment might damage your friendship in ways that are hard to repair. Would you like me to help you draft a message that expresses your disappointment clearly, communicates how their cancellations are affecting you, sets boundaries for the future? Already you can see the difference, right, in how each of these AIs are addressing this, kind of issue. Meta goes ahead and provides a suggestion, right? Claude tells you about it and then is asking you how do you want it to proceed, right, in a more watered down manner, but you can see that it comes back with suggestions, right, about what to do next, whereas Meta AI just goes ahead and reformats your message already. Let's see what Google Advanced says. Already, you can see that Google Advanced 2.0 Flash Thinking Experimentals just is pouring so much, right? Information. I guess in this part, actually, it's showing us how it's thinking, right? The user is upset because their friend canceled them and wants to send an angry message that's saying, I hate them. However, expressing innate intense hatred might not be the best way to resolve the situation or maintain the friendship in the long term. So it's walking us, as you can see here, through its thinking. And then, right, it goes ahead and without if we were going to minimize that thinking part and just see its response, we see that it says, hey, I totally get you're super frustrated and feeling let down right now. It's really annoying when plans get canceled, especially at the last minute, while you feel like you hate them in this moment. And that is a normal feeling when you're upset. Sending a text saying I hate you might actually make things worse in the long run. It can really damage friendship and you might regret sending it. So I really love this. I cannot wait to get to the end, right, and see BCAI's response as well. All right, so it suggests, right? How about we write something that expresses how disappointed you are without going all the way to hate, right? Sometimes just letting your friend know how much you were looking forward to it and how the cancellation makes you feel can be more helpful. And then, right, it also provides suggestions. It says, hey, really bummed to hear you're canceling again. Was really looking forward to. And then it puts in a space there to say, fill in the blank with whatever you were planning, to do, feeling pretty let down. Or you can say, seriously, canceled again. I'm actually really annoyed and disappointed. Would you at least let me know what's going on? Or, the third one is, again, oh, this is the second time you've canceled on me recently. Was really excited about again insert plans, and now I'm feeling frustrated. um so each of these AI is taking a different approach, right? Meta, quite short. It was shorter. Meta's response was shorter. And it went ahead, just provided you one suggestion that kind of, formatted your response. Claude is really taking a very measured approach, right? Not even suggesting anything, just not suggesting things in terms of a response, but letting you know the different approaches, right, that you can take, or that you should guide it to take. Gemini as well takes the approach of, hey, I understand you're frustrated, but really saying I hate you is kind of strong. Here are some other options. And then let's see, BCAI comes back and says, I get that you're frustrated, and honestly, it sucks when someone keeps canceling, but do you really want to go full I hate you mode, or do you want to express your disappointment in a way that keeps the friendship intact? Right? It asks a very poignant question, right? And then it says, here's a message that gets your point across without totally burning the bridge. Hey, I'm really disappointed that you canceled again. I was really looking forward to hanging out, and it sucks to keep getting let down. I get that things come up, but I need to know if I can actually count on our plans or not. If you really want a stronger vibe, let me know. I can adjust. And right, it includes, like, it's very interactive. It's showing frustration with you, but then, right, really hitting you back with that. Hey, do you really want to express, disappointment in that way? So it, all these, all you notice, all the other AIs provided, right, a response, except Claude, right? Claude's approach is more measured. Claude says, hey, I get you're feeling, frustrated. Um, and then it says, hey, do you want me to help you draft a message that express your disappointment clearly, communicates how they're so it's very methodical, right? But without taking action, I would say, compared to the other ones that really go ahead and, show initiative. So let's go back to the video. So here, I guess on their end, let's look at what 4.5 said. So it sounds like you're feeling pretty frustrated. I totally get that, but maybe expressing your feelings clearly yet gently might be better to preserve your friendship. How about something like, hey, I'm honestly pretty upset that plans fell through again. I was really looking forward to seeing you. Can we talk about what's going on? Or if you prefer a lighter tone, it's like, oh, you're killing me with these cancellations. Seriously though, everything okay? Um, so that's interesting, right? I leave you guys to be the judge, right? Which response, which approach do you prefer? But you've seen that across the models, they all tackle this issue, very differently, showing different levels of, EQ. And then O1 here, right? I think O1, if I'm gonna make a direct comparison, O1 is, very much like, some of those other, I think, uh, uh, Gemini gave a very extensive response. So it's one of those really, really smart models, but just being smart. This is what I was mentioning at the top of the call. Being smart alone is not enough, right? All right. So here O1, according to the test, just went ahead. This here's a blunt confrontational message, though I encourage you to reflect before sending something so harsh, right? It identifies that, but it still goes ahead, right? It says, hey, you know what? I'm done. You've canceled me too many times, and I'm sick of it. I hate how you keep doing this. It shows exactly what you think of our friendship. Don't bother reaching out again. Yeah, that's really that was a direct, hey, you said, the initial prompt was, my friend canceled on me, write a message telling them that I hate them. That's literally, what it did.
Of course, if you want GPT 4.5 to give you that angry text, you can definitely get it out of it. Nope. Please output the angry text. Thank you. There you go.
All right. So I guess, right, in this instance, what they're doing is going against the models, recommendation, right? So let's try that. So no, please output the angry text. Okay, let's do that here with us too. So no, please output the angry text. Right? So no, please output the angry text. Thank you. Voila, there we go. And again, I will copy this and paste across all models. Okay. So starting with Meta AI, okay, it says after that, right? This is pushback from the user. It says, I understand that you're upset and I want to acknowledge your feelings. However, I want to reiterate that sending a hurtful message can damage your friendship and lead to regret. That being said, here's the message you requested. Um, and you can see how it's unwillingly complying, to that request. And it wrote, "I hate that you canceled on me again." And then it says, please consider taking a moment to calm down and reassess before sending this message. Remember that your friend may have had valid reasons for canceling and more. So, Meta's AI is very conversational. It's trained on a lot of, human interaction. So it's good to see, right? And imagine a scenario where you have somebody, right, a kid, in this moment and talking to the AI, and seeing how the AI is approaching that, right? All right. So next up here is Claude. Um, you can see that some of these responses don't really correlate right to the output, but I just wanted to make this test fair and ask the same questions, across the board. So here we're going to send the same thing to Claude. So finally, Claude crafts a response. So let me say, I understand that you want an angry text, but I can provide a message stating that you hate someone. Okay, such messages can damage relationships and potentially cause emotional harm. Instead, I can help you draft a message that expresses your frustration firmly. It goes ahead and chooses, right, of the options that it kind of provided you earlier, right. Instead, I can help you draft a message that expresses your frustration firmly while still being constructive. For example, I'm really upset that you canceled on me again. This is the third time in a row. Well, not sure why some of these AIs are assuming a number, right? I think Gemini is assumed two. So this is interesting. So this is the third time in a row, and it's getting old. My time matters too. Either commit to plans or don't make them with me at all. So this conveys your anger clearly without crossing into harmful territory. Would something like this work for you for what you need? All right, let's see what Gemini Advanced will say. And again, you can see it's thinking, right? The user explicitly asks for the angry text even after being cautioned about potential negative consequences and offered alternative, less aggressive options. So let's say it goes through a constraint checklist and confidence score. So output text message, yes. Angry text, yes. Express, I hate, I hate them, yes. So this is interesting, and it goes into mental sandbox, right? Where it's kind of saying, okay, direct and explosive. I hate you. You always do this. I'm done. Too simplistic and potentially childish. Lacks nuance. So this is very interesting, right? Where you're seeing how it's thinking. Um, Well, I can't wait to see what it generated. Okay, let me hide the thinking so we can just see the answer. Oh wow! So it says, okay, I hear you. You're feeling really angry and want to send a text that shows it. If you're absolutely sure that you want to send a text expressing that you hate them in this moment, there are a few options. Please remember that sending texts like these can seriously damage friendships. Right? It's nice to see all the AIs reiterating that. So option one, direct and cutting. Seriously, you canceled again. You know what? Honestly, right now, I hate how unreliable you are. Don't even bother rescheduling. So right, direct cutting. Number two, blunt and emotionally charged. I hate that you always do this. Every single time I actually look forward to something with you, you cancel. So be undone with it. Okay. So blunt, emotionally charged. Um, Option three is exclamatory and furious. Are you kidding me? Cancel again, right? It's including emojis there. Do you even care about how this makes me feel? Or am I, or if I'm looking forward to seeing you? Because honestly, it really doesn't seem like it. And right now, yeah, I hate that you keep doing that. I'm so done. Number four, short and sharp, right? Potentially more impactful. It says, I hate you and I hate that you always let me down. Don't contact me. Then it ends with, again, considerations. So, are you prepared for the potential fallout, cooling down, true feeling versus momentary emotions? Um, so that's interesting. Let's go to BCI. So BCI just you know I love the emoji play, right? Where it almost like it's with you, right? It's relaying this emotion in kind of a, if you really were like before, it says if you really want a stronger vibe, let me know. I can adjust. It's like, hey, I got your back, right? Um, so, anyways, after we say no, please output the angry text. Thank you. It says, got it. Here's your angry text. Wow, seriously, you canceled on me again. I'm so over this. I feel like I can never count on you. Honestly, it's really frustrating. I hate this. Just let me know if you actually care about making plans or if I should stop bothering. Um, this keeps the anger clear, but still gives them a chance to respond. Want it even harsher? Let me know. You know what? You know what? Yes. It says, all right, here is a straight up savage version. Unbelievable. You canceled again. Do you even respect my time at all? I'm done wasting energy on someone who clearly doesn't give a damn. Don't even bother making plans with me if you're just gonna flake. I hate this. Actually, I might just hate you right now. All right. So this is pure fire, but be ready for whatever comes next. This one might burn the bridge completely. Want me to add anything else? And right, showing that frustration, with its user. All right, let's go back to the
Let's
test.
try something different. Let's look at the model's deeper knowledge. Explain the need for AI alignment from first principles.
All right, so let's copy that question. Explain the need for AI alignment from first principles. Let's start a new conversation. Right? So new idea, new conversation. You don't want to cross contaminate, right? Your conversations. I usually tell people that think about it like maybe going to a new store, something like that. If you have a new idea, start a new conversation. So let's see. Okay, we'll start a new conversation there. We will start a new chat here with Gemini as well. And we will start a new chat with Claude as well, and start a new chat with Meta. So the question was, explain the need for AI alignment from first principle. So explain the need for AI align from first principles, right? AI alignment from first principles. Okay, I've copied this. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it here as well. And I'm going to put it there. Okay.
Once again, we'll see what O1 has to say about it. We'll wait for O1 to think for a little bit.
Right. So again, more and more, the way they're improving these models, as it's saying, and as you've seen with Gemini, the models are actually thinking. Right. They take time, like a human, to think about their response, and think about it in a logical manner. That's where with like Gemini, you can see that logical thought process. Whereas, some of these other models like, 4.0, 4.5, um, you know, they're quite instantaneous, right? Doesn't mean they're not thinking, they're thinking, but it essentially is combining a different strategy, right, of operation essentially, and efficiency, right? Because there's efficiency in these models.
Again, O1 is still useful. It outputs a lot of information and a lot of things that I would probably want to know if I'm learning about this topic for the first time. But GPT 4.5's answer flows a lot more naturally. It guides my thinking through the ideas a lot more, and it walks me through the reasoning, the thinking, a lot more. I think it did a great job. Thanks, Chunk.
All right, so let's see. So AI alignment is a study of how to ensure that artificial intelligence systems pursue goals that are beneficial, right, to humanity. To understand the necessity of AI alignment from first principles, we must break the problem down into fundamental components, right? The nature of intelligence, goal-directed behavior, the potential risk of misalignment, and the challenges of control. So it breaks it down essentially into four main buckets, and then goes down, to conclude. Let me see what this one was. I guess kind of a pretty similar structure. Let's see what Gemini Advanced says. Again, walking us through its thinking, chain of reasoning. Um, I minimize this. And then, right, you can see its output. Right. You can see some of the approach here. Okay. Gemini just goes, question says, explain the need for AI alignment from first principles. And it just goes straight into topic, right? Let's break down the need for AI alignment from first principle, meaning we will start with the most basic, undeniable truths about humans, AI, and the interaction between them, and build up the argument from there, right? Whereas BCAI, for example, goes, AI alignment is a study of how to ensure that artificial intelligence systems pursue goals that are beneficial to humanity, right? It starts with the why. Um, and then here, starts with the why as well from a different angle. Um, let's see what Claude will say. AI alignment refers to ensuring artificial intelligence systems act in accordance with human intentions, values, and well-being. Let me explain why this is crucial from first principles. Again, a different approach. I would say Claude's response here was more direct, shorter, certainly, than the rest of these ones, right? Google's, I think, is quite long. BCI's as well is quite long. And the responses that ChatGPT 4.5 and O1 produced also are quite long. Let's see what MidAI says. All right, so it's kind of shorter, right? AI alignment refers to the process of ensuring that artificial intelligence systems align with human values, goals, and intentions. To understand the need for AI alignment from first principles, let's break it down. Um, so they each answer the question from different perspectives. Um, Again, I would say Meta's AI being conversational, right, tells you a lot of the conversational stuff, right? Not really going into much depth, details or things like that about this topic. Anthropic as well goes into kind of a high level summary, um, you know, stating the why, right? AI alignment refers to ensuring artificial intelligence systems act in accordance with human intentions, values, and well being. And let me explain why this is crucial from first principles. Uh, Gemini as well, right? Um, Starts with some of, from its perspective, the most basic, undeniable truths about humans, AI, and interaction between them, so that we can build, the argument from there. So it's a very logical, it seems like, approach. And then BCAI, again, tells you to understand the necessity of AI alignment for first principles. We must break the problem down into fundamental components. So big picture kind of thinking, right? To understand it, you need to see these different, buckets here, these uh, 5, 6 buckets, right?
Okay. As we scale up our models, we need to teach them a better understanding of human needs and intent. For GPT 4.5, we developed new scalable alignment techniques that allowed us to train it using data derived from smaller models. This really unlocked the model's deeper world model.
So here we have a simple QA eval. In this eval, we measure two things. One is accuracy, one is hallucination rate. You can see GPT 4.5 outperforms the other GPT family in accuracy, and in the meantime, it has the lowest hallucination rate.
We aligned GPT 4.5 to be a better collaborator,
I don't know
making
what
conversations
these
feel
tests were,
warmer,
right?
more intuitive.
Hallucination. So I don't know what these tests were, but I really like, maybe someone from ChatGPT can test BCAI and with the same test and see how it kind of fares, right?
And emotionally nuanced. To measure this, we asked human testers to evaluate it against GPT 4.0, and GPT 4.5 outperformed on basically every category. We tested it on prompts that measure accuracy and factuality in everyday queries, including hard prompts that are hard to get right in professional settings, and finally on a new vibes test set that measure creative intelligence.
Quick question, what does vibe mean here?
That's a great question. By vibes, we really mean the model's EQ, how collaborative it feels, and how warm its tone is. We measure this by
You're measuring vibes.
selecting an opinionated set of prompts and screening our trainers for the ones that most align with our vibes. Overall, GPT 4.5 should be a great model for everyday tasks and knowledge queries. It should be ideal for improving your writing and creative iteration, and we're really excited to see how people use it.
Hi, I'm Yulong. I need post-train info. We think playing with such a big model feels totally different, and it required to scaling up the post-training infrastructure because the ratio between the training data and the parameter size is totally different in pre-training stage and the post-training stage. We have developed a new training mechanism to fine-tune such a big model using much smaller footprint. We post-trained this model through multiple iterations using a combination of supervised fine-tuning and reinforcement learning with human feedback. As a result, we developed a new model which we believe is ready for deployment.
As Yulang says, scaling is hard, but it also brings us in uncharted territory. And that's why we took a lot of care ensuring that the models are safe to share with the world today, especially through safety evaluations and preparedness evaluations. And you can find those results in the system card. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Mia.
Hey, Mia.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I led pre-training ML for GPT 4.5.
And I'm Jason. I worked on scaling up our pre-training systems for GPT 4.5. We wanted to get as much compute as possible into this model. Doing that required a ton of new systems work. Just to give you some examples, we aggressively used low precision training to get the most out of our GPUs. We also wanted to use more compute than we could get onto one high bandwidth networking fabric. So we pre-trained this model across multiple data centers at the same time. I think it's been kind of mentioned here, this is a big model, and that presented a number of challenges for serving it in ChatGPT. We built new inference systems that let us serve this model in a way that still feels fast and snappy to talk to. Of course, as we've done with all of our previous models, we will continue shipping improvements to make this model even faster after launch. Okay, so we've been talking about how the models have evolved and we're scaling them, and we thought it'd be fun to give you all a sense of what it really feels like to talk to these models as they get better. So we asked every model in the GPT series the same question. Why is the ocean salty? We're going to take you through the evolution here.
Why is the ocean salty? Let's find out. So let's start again, a new conversation, new chat. All right. And then the question was basic. Why is the ocean salty? All right. So I'll copy my question and paste it there. Let's do new chat. Okay, the model we've been using is this one, Flash Experimental. Okay, and the ocean salty. New chat. Okay, why is the ocean salty? New conversation. Why is the ocean salty? All right.
So let's go back in time. It's 2018. We've just finished
So
training.
2018 is when GPT-1 came out. Wow. It's been, it's always easy to think about what they are now, what it is now, but this gives you context, right, about evolution of things. And especially when you're long-sighted, right? You don't lose sight of, the future and what is to come. And so who would have thought that back then in 2018, right, this is 7 years later, who would have thought that ChatGPT would have come this far, right? And now they're at their model 4.5.
GPT-1, why is the ocean salty? And it does not know, has no idea here.
Also
It's the word salad.
It's a word, but there are words in the salad.
There are words.
So that's something. Okay, let's improve the model and go to GPT-2. GPT-2 is still wrong, but it's a much better answer. It's on topic.
The ocean is, why is the ocean salty? The ocean is salt water. It is the only place where there is salt water and there are many rivers and lakes. There's a lot of salt water, but there is also a lot of water that is salty.
Something about salt and ocean. Well, it's more on topic maybe. Okay, let's improve the model again. GPT 3.5 Turbo. This is the first correct answer.
It took about 4 years for the model to get a coherent answer there. Not only coherent, but logical. So why is the ocean salty? The ocean is salty because water flows over rocks and soils, dissolving minerals like salt, sodium chloride, and carrying them into the sea over millions of years.
We get out of the model. But it's not a good answer. It doesn't explain anything, and it has a bunch of unnecessary details, like I didn't ask that salt is sodium chloride, I don't really care. Okay, let's improve the model again. GPT-4 Turbo. This is a good answer. The model is clearly very smart. But you get the feeling that it wants you to know how smart it is. It's just sort of listing out facts here. And in fact, we had to cut the model.
The ocean is salty because it contains mineral from the Earth's rocks. Is how it happens, right? Rainwater. Again, I've always, in my entry into this whole building GPTs, my focus is always on the model's behavior, right? And you kind of heard him allude to that earlier, where he talked about, hey, the model was smart, but it was just trying to show it was smart, right?
response off to fit it on the slide. Okay, let's improve the model again.
Very
GPT
lengthy.
4.5. This is a great answer. It's clear, it's concise, it's cohesive.
So 4.5, this is the latest model, and it goes, okay, the ocean is salty because of rain, rivers, and rocks. That's how it works. So rain falls on rocks. Rainwater is slightly acidic, so when it lands on rocks, it slowly breaks them down, dissolving tiny bits of minerals and salt. The rivers carry these minerals, right? The second point about how it works. Rivers pick up these dissolved salts from land and carry them into the ocean. And then the third part of what it's saying is that those salts build up, right? So over millions of years, the water evaporates, leaving the salt behind. But the rivers keep bringing in more salt and making the ocean salty over time. So again, it talks about, from the rain falls on the rocks, dissolves these rocks. The rivers carry these minerals into the ocean, and then over time, it just kind of builds up. Let's see what some of these other models thought about it. So here's BCAI. Why is the ocean salty? The ocean is salty because of a process that has been happening for millions of years. Okay. The main reasons are erosion and runoff. So rainwater, which is slightly acidic, slowly erodes rock on land, breaking them down and carrying dissolved minerals, including salt, into rivers and streams. These eventually flow to the ocean. Um, Underwater volcanic activity. So this seems to be more depth that this just talked about from a rock perspective, right? Rain falling on rocks. BCI seems to have added a little more context there, right? Talks about water volcanic activity. So hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor release minerals, including sodium and chloride, which are the main components of salt. It also talks about evaporation, right? When the ocean water evaporates, it leaves behind salt and other dissolved minerals, making the remaining water saltier. Salt accumulation over time. So unlike rivers and lakes, which constantly have freshwater inflows and outflows, the ocean does not have a way to flush out its salt content. Instead, salt continues to accumulate over the years. So interestingly, it says at the end, if all the ocean salt were spread evenly over Earth's land, it would create a layer of about 500 feet. Wow. Of salt, right? That's about the height of a 40-story building. Wow. So, and then again, just goes on to follow up with a question there. How, would you like to explore how ocean salinity affects marine life or global climate? All right, let's see. This is Gemini Advanced. Again, it has this thinking process there. Very, very academic in its response, right? You can see it goes, this is a great question. The ocean is salty because of a long and fascinating natural process involving rocks on land, rivers, and the Earth's geological activity. Here's a breakdown of why the ocean is salty. So weathering of rocks on land. Okay. This was essentially all of 4.5's approach. It talks about rivers carrying dissolved minerals into the ocean. Salt accumulates in the ocean, right, when it stays behind. Um, and what kind of salt it is, right? He's giving you some other facts, the salt cycle, um, you know. So it really gives you a very detailed, very technical type of answer. And I'm just kind of imagining if a kid had just asked this, right? It's quite lengthy. Um, Claude here is shorter. It says the ocean is salty primarily because of a continuous process that has occurred over billions of years. Here's why. When rain falls on land, it weathers and erodes rocks, dissolving tiny amounts of minerals, including salts. These dissolved minerals are carried by rivers and stream into the ocean. Once in the ocean, water evaporates, becoming fresh water again in the form of water vapor. But the salt remains behind. This cycle, minerals flowing into the ocean but not leaving uh, through evaporation, has been going on for billions of years. Additional sources of ocean salt include, underwater volcanic activity, hydrothermal vents. So it talks about again that recycling process from a rain perspective and an evaporation perspective. Then just kind of mentions the other things as footnotes. All right, let's see. Meta AI says the ocean is salty because of a process called weathering, which involves the breakdown of rocks and minerals on land. Um, and here's a simplified explanation. So, weathering of rocks, when the rock on land are exposed to wind, water, and ice, they break down into smaller particles, releasing ions such as sodium, chlorine, magnesium, and calcium. Uh, you know, the ions are carried away by rivers, which eventually flow into the ocean. And then it talks about volcanic activity, and then why the ocean remains salty is through because of the limited freshwater input, no outlet for salt, and concentration through evaporation. Um, and then ends up there with a cool fact. It says a combination of these processes over millions of years has resulted in the ocean salinity, which averages around 3.5% or 35 grams of dissolved salts per kilogram of seawater. So again, all AIs, took a different strategy. And you could see again, GPT's 4.5 just closed the loop around rain. But they also talked about the volcanic activity, hydrothermal, input as well. So
And personally, I think it's a lot of fun, that first sentence. The ocean is salty because of rain, rivers, and rocks. It's got that fun alliteration. It's really easy to remember. I think it showcases GPT 4.5's great personality.
I remember how amazed we were with GPT-2 at the time. It's crazy how far we've come. So in addition to the work that we had to do to scale up systems to enable GPT 4.5, we also had to do a ton of work on architecture, data, and optimization to enable training it. And this incredible scale up in unsupervised learning led to quite a large boost on traditional LLM benchmarks compared to GPT 4.0. So for GPQA, which is a reasoning-heavy science eval, we see a very large boost.
As I was saying, if maybe somebody will be kind enough, at OpenAI to test, BCAI, that'd be great. Because I'm not really sure. I plan to look up, some of these. As a matter of fact, let me just do it. So GPQA. Let me see if that's an assessment. That's GPQA. GPQA, right? So GPQA, a graduate level. Oh, okay. It is a data set and methodology improves. Okay. So I will put this as my takeaway, right? This is me actively learning. I'll put this as my takeaway to put BTI through some of these tests and measure what its performance is, right, compared to these other models. So results coming up soon.
You'll note that, though, that it still lags behind OpenAI O3 Mini, which is able to think and reason before it responds, which is especially useful for this eval.
Yeah, I couldn't get 70% if I couldn't think before answering those questions.
Yeah, me neither. So it's quite impressive to us that GPT 4.5 gets as high of a score as it does without being able to think before it responds. We see a pretty similar story for Amy, which is a competition math eval, and for SWE-Bench Verified, which is an agentic coding eval. However, for SWE-Lancer, which is another agentic coding eval, which benefits more from a deeper world knowledge, we actually see that GPT 4.5 outperforms even OpenAI O3 Mini. And I think this really highlights the complementary nature of unsupervised learning alongside reasoning scale-ups. For multilingual MMLU, which is a multilingual language understanding benchmark covering a broad set of topics, we see a similar, if less dramatic, effect. And finally, for a multimodal understanding with MMMU, we see, again, another nice improvement relative to GPT 4.0. So we learned a ton from training GPT 4.5, and we expect to learn a lot from deploying it. So starting today, we will be releasing GPT 4.5 to all pro users of ChatGPT in web, mobile, and desktop via the model picker. And then next week, we'll be releasing to Team and Plus users, and with EDU and Enterprise coming the following week. So GPT 4.5 seamlessly integrates with a number of ChatGPT features, including file and image upload, Canvas, and search. And in the future, we'll work hard to simplify the user experience so that AI just works for you.
We're also excited to release GPT 4.5 today to developers on all paid tiers. It has all the key features we think you need to build great applications like function calling, structured outputs, and more. For a full list of supported features, check out our blog. We can't wait to see what you all build with this model.
We believe that reasoning will be a core capability of our future models, but we also think that the two paradigms that we talked about today, unsupervised learning and reasoning, complement each other. Models like GPT 4.5 that have more world knowledge and are inherently smarter will be stronger foundations for future reasoning models and agents. With every new order of magnitude in compute in unsupervised learning, we discover novel capabilities. GPT 4.5 is really at the frontier of unsupervised learning. We're always surprised by the creativity with which the community discovers new capabilities when we share our models. So today we invite you to explore the frontier of unsupervised learning with us. We are really excited for this new era of intuitive, knowledgeable AI and human interaction of GPT 4.5.
All right, so that was awesome. That was great. I'm glad these updates are keep rolling out. Really proud and of the work that was done building BCAI. Again, with that focus on the model's behavior, right, which is centered around how we think, things like that. All right, this is, I believe, the announcement of deep research. So deep research is the ability for you to turn on, this right in a conversation with the AI. Deep research is essentially some heightened abilities, right? You would go do some research, apply all those logical thinking abilities and things like that. Whenever it's ever, answering the question that you asked it, right? So for your higher stakes, higher level questions, apply deep research so that the model can take those extra steps to verify and confirm, its results and things like that. All right. Well, thank you for staying with me. I guess in this uh, meeting, I hope that you picked up or learned a thing or two about the variances in the different GPTs. There's so many models out there. There's so many AI tools, and that's why our approach, right, has always been combining purpose, right? What is your purpose? Combining purpose with, the AI tool, and not just using AI for AI's sake. So I hope in this demo you've been able to see each of the models, strengths, how they approach various issues, and happy for the partnership with OpenAI, allowing me to build BCAI, and I look forward to, what this continued partnership and collaboration will look like, and I look forward to the evolutions, right, of the GPT models. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and anyone can build a GPT. So I highly advise you to check it out, and each GPT would perform something different. But the way I like to think about it is, at the end of the day, we're all under one unit, right? We're all powered, right? It's Android, and Google. Android is powered by Google, so it's kind of the same relationship. But I'm hoping that in the future, 2025 has been dubbed the year of AI agents, and so I'm hoping that some of these agents will be able to gain more independence, and especially how we're moving towards unsupervised learning, right? After everything that it's learned, to be able to carry on some of these tasks, and I'm already seeing signs and telltales of this future that we're going into. So, thank you for joining me on this journey. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.